AEW and WWE fans never knew Saraya's true story until now. Her memoir, Hell in Boots, isn't just a wrestling book. It's a tale of survival from stalking, child abuse and sexual abuse. And it raises plenty of discussion points around sexual consent, safeguarding wrestling and fame as well. In this video, I'm going to take you through the most prominent themes in Saraya's book. This video will contain references to sexual abuse and child abuse, so if you don't want to hear that, please do click away now. Saraya is well known for winning both the WWE Women's and Divas titles, but a big part of the start of this book centres around her relationship with the wrestler Maddox. She states that Maddox was fixated with filming them having sex, and years later these private videos were actually publicised online. It was disturbing to read about how Saraya felt that she didn't have an option but to do what Maddox wanted, and also that she really just didn't have a say over what she did with her body. When they were dating, Maddox also had a wife that he didn't tell Saraya about, and it felt like Saraya was just kind of trapped in this relationship. There's been so many allegations of sexual abuse in the wrestling industry, and after Saraya's story now, you wonder how many more people are going to tell their story too. It was also quite heartening to see how Saraya's family and especially her parents really comforted her and understood her point of view when the sex videos were actually published. They didn't stigmatise the topic and they were there for Saraya, which I think was absolutely crucial for her. I love the way that Saraya really owns her story with this book, and she's a massive inspiration to so many young women and of course now survivors of abuse too. Throughout her career she also headlined Wembley Stadium with AEW, and she's definitely probably one of the biggest female pioneers in the post-Divas era. Saraya discusses how as children her and her brother Zach were also abused by the same man. In writing about this, there seemed to be an element of closure for Saraya, and she said that her and Zach never really discussed this until adulthood, so they seem to really understand each other a lot more moving forward in their lives as well. Evidently, Saraya has had the most horrific things happen to her. She's managed to become a success nonetheless, and I think she can be really, really proud of that. We also learn about Saraya's childhood in wrestling. So her father, Rowdy Rick Knight, was a heel in the wrestling industry, and her mother also wrestled. Saraya's days would be punctuated by travelling all over England, setting up rings, the apron, the canvas, the ropes and the turnbuckles. She came to really identify with that smell of sweat at a wrestling event and in the gym. Still, although Saraya was afraid about getting hurt, she loved the process of wrestling, and as you can tell, it was really in her blood. With success in wrestling came great fame, but Saraya does paint this as quite a double-edged sword. She speaks about a small girl walking up to her in a supermarket in America and telling her she wants to be like her when she's older. However, when the private videos are published online, Saraya just feels like everyone's pointing at her and judging her. When she's in public, at one stage she actually hides in a bush to stop from being recognised. Around that period, she was also struggling with addiction to alcohol and cocaine, and she said that every time she would sneeze, she would actually just spurt blood everywhere. Fame also led to stalkers arriving at her door and sending her covert packages backstage. How did this get to her? It's just disturbing beyond belief that this even happened. On one occasion, a fan sent her a wooden chest filled with clothes which were intended for Saraya to wear. It also contained a book which Saraya said looked like it was written in blood. Being in the public eye also meant that Saraya was occasionally a target for conflict as well. One evening in a bar, she enters a fist fight, standing up for her friend, the fellow wrestler Foxy. Fists fly in all directions, and as Saraya maintains, she can definitely handle herself in legitimate real-life fights. Police arrived, and later the story actually emerged on TMZ. Turns out that one of the waiters at the pub, who was actually a fan of Saraya, came up and talked to her, got a photo with her. It turns out that it was actually him who sold the story to TMZ. Still, due to her public profile, she is really grateful to her fans and also spoke about how much she enjoyed talking with them and interacting with them when she was streaming on Twitch during the pandemic. She saw this as a way to really invite fans into her life and almost have that safe space to be with them. Later, she actually had a run-in with the WWE, who said that they wanted a piece of her earnings from her streaming content. So with that, it seems nothing in Saraya's life has been smooth, but she's definitely achieved her dream of moving to America and building a life and a sense of independence around wrestling. There's genuinely just too much chaos in this book to share in one video. I haven't spoken about how she grew up working with her parents in pubs, at which she would witness just full-scale brawls with people wielding baseball bats. She paints 1990s Norwich as a pretty territorial place and just a really dangerous place for a kid to grow up in. We also learn how she was diagnosed with endometriosis, which is a condition where the tissue in the uterus actually grows outside the uterus. This can cause just excruciating pain in the pelvis, and Saraya said that there were times when she really thought she was going to pass out or even die from the pain. And I think I've probably articulated by now that this book definitely isn't for the faint of heart, and for me it raises so many answers as to why famous people do turn to, for instance, drink or drugs as well. That said, if you are a wrestling fan, there's so much to get stuck into here, and I really flew through the book. There's a lot of great stories about The Rock, Triple H, AJ Lee, so you're going to find a lot of value in the book. So I would definitely recommend this book to any wrestling fan. It is a really tough read in places, but having said that, I am so glad to see that Saraya is in a much better place now, it seems. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video as always, and see you again soon.